Good morning and welcome to Mary Ellen's Miracle Moment. Of course, I'm Mary Ellen, and you can always connect with me through askmaryellen.com or right here on Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, wherever you happen to be watching this Miracle Moment. Yes, on Thursdays, I have Mary Ellen's Miracle Moment, where I share an inspirational story that teaches a lesson that you can choose to use with your children, your Sunday school class. If you're an educator, you could use it in your classroom. And this particular one, I wouldn't suggest doing, yet it does teach a very valuable lesson. And as always, my inspirational stories begin with Once Upon a Time. So here we go. Once upon a time, there were a group of mothers, and they would sit around and have coffee and talk while their girls played with each other. Now, their girls were probably about 12 to 13, going in that preteen age group. So the mothers would discuss parenting ideas. They would discuss values, manners, and how to teach these at home. They would discuss social media and how it would affect their girls in the future. They wanted their girls to be responsible and be able to make good choices and good decisions. Now, there came a time when a big hit movie came out, and it was starred all of their famous actors, all of the actors that these girls just loved. And it had been released and it was a hit, and there was only one problem. The movie was rated R. And these mothers had no problem with PG ratings, yet they thought an R was still a little bit above, maybe a year or two above what they wanted their daughters to see at that time. So one of the mothers had an idea, and she put it to the other mothers, and they said, "Ooh, that might work." So she asked her daughter to ask the other girls to come over for a spend the night party. Oh, they were so excited. They all came running over. They went home. They grabbed their overnight bags and they came over to this one girl's house to spend the night. They were all so excited. You know how you get during a spend the night party? Well, as they came over during a dinner over pizza, which you usually have at these things, the girls kept talking about how they were so intent on seeing this R-rated movie. So the mother asked them, "Okay, what are your reasons that you want to see this movie? Give me your reasons." And one girl said, "Well, there's just a little bit of sex in it, and the violence isn't that bad." And then the other girl said, "Well, our favorite actors are in it." And then another girl said, "Well, even some of our church members are seeing it." And the mother was like, "Well, yeah, and they're adults." And the girls kept going on, "Well, it is good, and it just has a few curse words and a few F words in it. And they take the Lord's name in vain, but it's only a few times. And, we've heard worse than that out in public. And the video effects are supposed to be so wonderful, and they're supposed to be great, and the plot is supposed to be action-packed. And the violence was normal stuff, except for at the end of the movie, we hear they blow up a building and all these people go flying out and all their arms and legs go everywhere." So the mother was listening to all their reasons. And even after all of those reasons, the mother said, "No, I don't want to hear any more. No more explanations. Just finish your pizza, have fun, and go in and watch the movie that all of you picked out for tonight." So the girls go in and they begin to watch their movie that they picked out for that particular night. A little while later, kind of halfway through the movie, the mother peeked her head in and asked them to pause the movie. And she said, "After the movie, how would all of you like to enjoy a snack of my famous brownie recipe?" Oh, they were so delighted because this mother made such delicious brownies. She sold them places and she gave them as gifts. So they knew they were going to be in for a treat. So the mother goes off to make her brownies. After the movie, the girls come into the kitchen and the girls say, "Oh, it smells so wonderful." And the mother said, "Well, I I want to know how you like these because I took my family's famous recipe and I added just a little something new. Now it's just a little bit and it's not much. Do you want to know what it is?" And the girl said, "Yeah, what is it?" And the mother said, "Well, I went out into the yard and I found some fresh, really still warm dog poop. And I brought just a little bit of it in and threw it in the batter." And she said, "You don't have to worry though, because I mixed it really well. And there's hardly just a little bit in there and you won't even notice. And all of the other ingredients are gourmet quality." So she asked the girls, "Here, go ahead and take one and let me know how they are." The girls just sat there. And even with all, she said, "Well, I cooked them at the exact temperature and to bake them and to make sure, the dog poop was clean and sanitary. And you know what dogs eat." And even with all of those explanations of the food, the perfect brownies, none of the teens would take any. The mother acted surprised. There was only one element, the spoonful of dog poop, that would cause these teens to act so stubbornly. So she reassured them they would hardly notice it at all. "You probably won't even taste a difference." The teens held firm and did not take a brownie. The mother then went on to explain the R-rated movie they wanted to see was just like the brownies. Satan tries to enter our homes and our minds just a little bit at a time, making us believe that it's just a little bit and a little bit won't matter. But in the brownies, this little bit had made all the difference between a great brownie and a totally unacceptable product. The mother went on to explain that even though the movie they wanted to see was acceptable for adults, it was not for young teens. And she said, "Do this test with the next movie you see. Ask yourself, would you be comfortable taking Christ with you to see the movie?" Now, when any of the mother's girls want to do or see something, the mothers simply ask, "Do you want some of the special brownies?" I love this story because it does tell a story of how when we give in a little bit to our children, then a little bit becomes a little bit more and a little bit more and a little bit more until a little bit becomes a lot. So when you're parenting your children, and parenting is so very important, look at the example you are setting at the home. Are you using the correct tone of voice? Are you using the correct words? Do you have respect for yourself? Do you eat correctly? Do you exercise? Are you setting an example that your children can follow? And I wouldn't suggest doing this story or adding anything that's not appropriate to food, yet I think it is a really good story about how Satan comes in a little bit at a time until all of a sudden the evil is there and you haven't even seen it coming. I'm Ask Mary Ellen. You can connect with me on askmaryellen.com. I'll be back on Monday with Miracles with Mary Ellen. So until then, have a fun-filled weekend and don't eat the brownies. Anyway, raise your children correctly with love and kindness and compassion and teaching them manners and everything right. I'm here for you if you need me. AskMaryEllen.com. Bye-bye.